They sent some pictures coming from the satellite from space, looking at the surface underground, the main pyramid of Giza.
Beneath the Great Pyramid of Giza, something extraordinary may be hiding in plain sight.
Of the Osiris shaft, they got an accurate depiction of that.
Advanced scans have revealed vast voids, twisting shafts, and even possible structures plunging thousands of feet below the desert floor.
They claim to have discovered wells, caverns, and shafts that are more than 2,000 feet underground.
Some researchers claim these hidden depths could hold secrets older than pharaohs themselves.
I've heard theories that the pyramids could be a power plant. Is there any validity to that?
Maybe the pyramids are more than one thing. Maybe they're not just one thing.
Knowledge sealed away for millennia. And here's the shocking part. What scientists found down there isn't just unusual, it's nothing like what they expected. Stay tuned, because this changes everything. What recent claims say. In recent years, new technologies have allowed scientists to peek inside the Great Pyramid of Giza without lifting a single stone. And what they've found has left even the most seasoned Egyptologists stunned. First, there was the Scan Pyramids project, an international team of researchers using muon tomography, a technique that tracks cosmic particles as they pass through solid matter. In 2017, this team revealed something shocking: a massive, big void above the Grand Gallery. It's about 100 feet long, as tall as the Statue of Liberty's head, and completely inaccessible. Even more startling? This void was confirmed by 3 independent teams, making it one of the most credible modern finds inside the pyramid in decades. National Geographic and Joe Rogan even called it one of the most important discoveries of the century. But then came a bolder claim. A joint Italian-Scottish team used synthetic aperture radar, SAR, to map what they say are structures almost 2,000 feet beneath the pyramids. If true, this would push the known limits of Egypt's ancient construction far deeper, both literally and historically. The SAR readings allegedly hint at deep symmetrical voids or cavities that could be man-made. But there's a catch. These findings haven't yet been peer-reviewed or reproduced by other teams, making them highly controversial. Still, theories have begun to swirl. Some believe these might be subterranean complexes, possibly predating the pyramids themselves. Others think they could be ancient quarries or water channels, long forgotten. Fringe theorists, of course, suggest everything from Atlantean technology to buried star maps. To make things even murkier, the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities has not formally responded to the SAR claims, fueling whispers that someone doesn't want us to dig. And that's just the beginning. Why physical excavation is near impossible. It sounds simple enough. If we think there's something hidden beneath the Great Pyramid, why not just dig? But the reality is anything but simple. First off, structural integrity. The Great Pyramid weighs an estimated 6 million tons, meticulously distributed across limestone blocks fitted with surgical precision. This engineering marvel has withstood earthquakes, erosion, and looting for over 4,500 years, but even a tiny shift in its base could bring disaster. Digging beneath it could disturb the pyramid's load-bearing zones, especially since modern engineers still don't fully understand how its internal stress points work. Then there's the issue of geology. The pyramid rests atop layers of Mokattam and Maadi formations, types of sedimentary limestone filled with natural fissures, variable densities, and even pockets of groundwater. Any tunneling effort would risk hitting a fault line or causing water ingress, undermining the base and possibly flooding the area. Preservation laws further complicate matters. Egyptian antiquities law follows the principle of do no harm, in line with UNESCO guidelines. Any irreversible interference is a massive legal and ethical red flag. Digging into or beneath the pyramid is not just an engineering decision, it's a political one, requiring international approval, environmental impact assessments, and oversight from Egypt's Supreme Council of Antiquities. And here's a fun but frustrating fact. There's no guarantee we'll find anything at all. That void we're so eager to explore, it might be just that, a stress relief cavity. Many anomalies detected with radar or muons may turn out to be natural features or intentional architectural designs used to reduce pressure on lower chambers. In other words, not every mystery hides treasure. The debate over what lies beneath. One of the earliest references to something mysterious beneath the Great Pyramid of Giza comes from Herodotus, the ancient Greek historian. Writing around the 5th century BCE, he claimed priests told him that King Khufu was buried on an island surrounded by water, deep within the earth. To many, this sounds like pure myth, but some believe it could be a poetic memory of a subterranean chamber connected to the Nile via hidden canals or aquifers. And Herodotus isn't the only source. In 19th century surveys, early explorers like Giovanni Battista Caviglia and Howard Vyse described blocked passages and waterlogged tunnels under the plateau. Some even claimed to find rooms with hieroglyphs never documented elsewhere. Yet few of these reports were backed by solid evidence, leaving behind a trail of half-truths and rumors. Modern researchers are divided. Egyptologist Zahi Hawass is famously skeptical, arguing that most voids or underground claims are exaggerations or misreadings of natural features. Yet other scientists remain cautiously open-minded. Some geophysical scans from the 1990s and 2000s did suggest low-density areas beneath the pyramid, possibly indicating hollow spaces, but no one's been allowed to dig to confirm them. Then there are the lost records and old maps. A controversial example is the alleged Labyrinth of Hawara, a massive underground complex described by Strabo and Pliny the Elder, supposedly buried near the pyramid site. Some believe remnants of it extend toward the Giza Plateau and could be connected to yet undiscovered chambers. But again, it's all unconfirmed. But the questions keep piling up, because every time technology gives us a glimpse, the pyramid whispers another layer of mystery. The ancient well shafts and the forgotten depths. There's one physical feature of the Great Pyramid that continues to puzzle even the most experienced researchers: the so-called well shaft. At first glance, the well shaft looks like a construction shortcut, a rudimentary vertical shaft connecting the lower chamber and grand gallery. But here's the twist. Its path is not straight, and its purpose remains largely undocumented in ancient texts. Some believe it was a builder's escape route. Others suggest it was an emergency pressure relief tunnel created in case of collapse. But there's a growing theory that the well shaft, once connected to deeper subterranean systems, now sealed off by erosion or intentional design. In 1993, German engineer Rudolf Gantenbrink sent a robotic crawler named Upuaut into one of the pyramid's mysterious air shafts. What it found shocked everyone. A small stone door with copper handles sitting silently at the end of the shaft. Behind it, another door, and beyond that, still unknown. More recent robotic probes like JRE confirmed the presence of paint markings and architectural features never seen before, hidden in these narrow, claustrophobic passages. The well shaft, air shafts, and underground corridors may all be part of a larger, coordinated internal network, a kind of ancient life support or stabilization system. But if that's true, where do they all lead? Here's the most bizarre theory: that the well shaft was once connected to a natural aquifer or underground river, and that the pyramid's entire structure may have been aligned with subsurface water energy, an idea explored by researchers like Christopher Dunn and others who propose ancient Egyptians understood vibrational resonance on a scale we still don't. So while we debate digging under the pyramid, we may have already built paths into it, centuries ago, and forgotten where they lead. The mysterious alignment and the underground star map theory. Beyond the pyramid's physical structure, scholars have long marveled at the precise celestial alignment of the Great Pyramid. Each side is aligned to true north, with an error of less than 1/15 of a degree, a level of accuracy that rivals modern GPS-based engineering. But here's where things take a twist. Some researchers believe the layout of the pyramids themselves mirrors a star map, and this pattern may extend not only across the surface, but underground as well. This theory, often called the Orion correlation theory, was first proposed by Robert Bauval in the 1990s. According to it, the three main pyramids at Giza align with the three stars in Orion's belt. That part is relatively well known. What's lesser known, however, is the extension of this theory, that subterranean structures beneath the Giza plateau may represent the dark or unseen stars, those not visible to the naked eye or stars that appear only during certain ancient epochs. What adds fuel to this theory? Ancient Egyptian mythology itself, the underworld, or Duat, was often described as a place with 12 gates, guarded by stars, serpents, and divine judges. Temples like those at Dendera depict star charts not just in the sky, but below the earth, linked to Osiris, the god of the underworld and rebirth, who was directly associated with Orion. And some satellite-based SAR scans, though still unverified, show geometric formations beneath the plateau beyond the known tombs and causeways, leading some to believe we've barely scratched the surface, literally. If so, digging might not just reveal history. It might decode an ancient blueprint of the cosmos. The pyramid and the cursed excavations. Whenever the subject of digging beneath the Great Pyramid comes up, one theme surfaces again and again: curses. While mainstream archaeology dismisses such ideas as superstition, history shows that tales of misfortune connected to pyramid exploration are as old as the discoveries themselves. The most famous is the so-called Curse of the Pharaohs, popularized after the discovery of Tutankhamun's tomb in 1922. Within months of opening the sealed chambers, several members of Howard Carter's team died under mysterious circumstances, from infections to fevers that seemed inexplicable at the time. Newspapers around the world ran headlines claiming the curse was real. Although modern science attributes most of these deaths to bacteria and mold sealed in tomb air, the legend stuck, and it shaped how people think about tampering with Egypt's sacred sites. But Tutankhamun wasn't the first case. In the 1800s, early explorers at Giza also reported strange accidents, tools breaking at critical moments, sudden illnesses among workers, and even collapses in shafts that forced teams to abandon their digs. Local workers often refused to continue, citing ancient warnings that disturbing the resting places of kings would bring disaster. Even today, some Egyptian officials invoke these old beliefs when asked why we don't drill or dig beneath the Great Pyramid. It's not just preservation law, it's a cultural reverence for the unknown. Interestingly, some scientists suggest there may be a kernel of truth hidden in the curse legends. Sealed chambers could contain toxic gases, molds, or pathogens that have been isolated for thousands of years. Opening them suddenly might expose researchers to deadly environments, making the curse less supernatural but no less dangerous. The Pyramid and the Sound Mystery. One of the strangest and least discussed aspects of the Great Pyramid isn't what we see, it's what we hear, or rather, what we don't. Researchers who've studied its internal chambers often report unusual acoustic properties. In the King's Chamber, for example, the granite walls resonate at a specific frequency when sound is introduced. This is not random. The chamber acts almost like a giant tuning fork, amplifying low vibrations in ways modern engineers still don't fully understand. Some scientists suggest this was intentional. The ancient builders may have engineered the pyramid to interact with natural vibrations from the Earth itself, including microseismic activity and even water flow beneath the plateau. Experiments with the smaller Queen's Chamber have shown similar oddities. Certain frequencies cause the chamber to hum, as if the walls are responding musically to sound. This has led some researchers to theorize that rituals performed there could have been enhanced by acoustics, giving priests and pharaohs an almost supernatural experience. Now, here's where it gets even more fascinating. Geophysicists studying underground aquifers beneath Giza suggest that moving water could create vibrations picked up by the structure. Some fringe researchers believe the pyramid may have acted like a giant energy transducer, converting natural vibrations into power, or at least harnessing them for ceremonial purposes. Whether or not this theory holds up, the acoustic anomalies are real, measured repeatedly by independent teams, and they raise an irresistible question. If the chambers we know resonate so strangely, what about the undiscovered voids? Could they be part of a hidden network designed for sound manipulation, or even an ancient communication system? The Pyramid and the Forgotten Electromagnetic Puzzle. Beyond stone, water, and voids, another layer of mystery lurks around the Great Pyramid: its strange electromagnetic properties. In 2018, a team of physicists from ITMO University in Russia published a study suggesting that the pyramid can naturally concentrate electromagnetic energy in its chambers and beneath its base. Using simulations, they found that the pyramid interacts with radio waves in such a way that energy gets funneled into specific spots, almost as if it was designed to harness invisible forces. Mainstream Egyptologists say this is likely just coincidence, the result of shape and scale. But for others, it raises fascinating possibilities. Could the pyramid's builders have understood basic principles of resonance and energy long before modern science? There are even modern anecdotes to feed this puzzle. Tourists and researchers who've carried compasses inside the pyramid sometimes report slight needle fluctuations, while others describe feelings of static energy when standing at key spots like the King's Chamber sarcophagus. None of this has been fully verified, but the consistency of the claims keeps the debate alive. And here's a curious historical tie-in. Nikola Tesla himself was fascinated by pyramids. He studied their proportions and even aligned his own experimental towers in ways that mirrored the Giza layout. Tesla believed the Earth itself could transmit energy wirelessly through natural resonances, a concept strangely similar to the pyramid's alleged electromagnetic focusing ability. If there are still undiscovered voids or chambers beneath the pyramid, could they also play into this electromagnetic riddle? Perhaps hidden spaces act as resonant cavities, amplifying fields in ways we've barely begun to measure. The Pyramid and the Lost Hall of Records. One of the most enduring legends tied to the Great Pyramid is the idea of a Hall of Records, a hidden library said to contain the wisdom of ancient civilizations. According to this belief, somewhere beneath the sands of Giza lies a vast underground archive holding texts, maps, and technologies far older than dynastic Egypt itself. The story's roots go back to classical sources, Greek historians like Plato wrote of Atlantis and hinted at civilizations that perished but left behind knowledge. Later, Arab historians such as al-Makrizi described hidden vaults where priests stored sacred writings before the biblical flood. By the 20th century, mystics like Edgar Cayce revived the tale, predicting that a hall of records would one day be discovered beneath the Sphinx and connected to the pyramids. Mainstream Egyptologists argue there's no physical evidence to support this. Yet, intriguing anomalies keep the theory alive. Ground-penetrating radar scans around the Sphinx in the 1990s showed unexplained cavities beneath its paws, and recent SAR claims of structures nearly 2,000 feet deep fuel speculation that something extraordinary might indeed be hidden. The idea resonates deeply with modern audiences because it suggests history as we know it could be incomplete. What if ancient texts detailing forgotten sciences or lost epochs were waiting in sealed chambers? What if the pyramid wasn't just a tomb, but also a time capsule for humanity? This is why the Hall of Records remains such a captivating narrative, not just among fringe theorists, but in mainstream culture. Even Joe Rogan, during long-form conversations with guests, has mused on whether discoveries like this could completely rewrite our timeline of human civilization. He doesn't present it as fact, but his platform has made millions of listeners stop and wonder, what if it's true? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit subscribe, because the next revelation might be even more shocking than this one.